What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and I hope you like this video. This is your review for the Real Housewives of Atlanta, season 13, episode 12. So, we start the episode off. Poor Cynthia. Things are going haywire with the wedding already. Her mom's dress is not coming. It's supposed to be there on the 16th. Her wedding is on the 10th. So, clearly, that's not going to work. Now, we are still in COVID time, and y'all know during COVID, some things were getting to you in, the regular time, and then other times, then we also had that whole situation going on with the post office. I ain't gonna go too deep into that, but y'all know what I'm talking about. Now, so Cynthia calls up Drew, or Drew calls Cynthia. Now, Drew's actually singing at Cynthia's wedding, so they're kind of going over what song she's going to sing, and then they talk about the fact that Marlo is having a little get-together down to the pumpkin patch, and she says, listen, I'm usually there for everything, but baby, I ain't going to be able to make this one. I ain't about to make this one, and so we know that we got an event with Miss Marlo coming up. Now, Kenya over to her house, and, we see her calling her daddy. And we've met her dad over the, a few times over the years. And, her dad is a straightforward, from the hip type dude. He don't really have no whole lot of cut cards with him. And we found out that, she said she regrets the fact that she didn't invite her dad to the wedding. And she says, listen, I didn't invite him to the wedding because I thought he wasn't going to like Mark and they weren't going to get along. And so I didn't invite him to the wedding. And she said, in hindsight, I really regret that. I really regret the fact that he didn't come to the wedding because he doesn't really know Mark. They don't have a relationship. It doesn't sound like they've ever really met, or if they have, it's only been once or twice. No, actually, because he said the only thing he knows about Mark is what he's seen on TV. So, no, he hasn't met him. They're talking about the fact that her daughter's birthday is coming up, and she's saying something about who she's inviting, and she says, well, I'm also inviting a lot of other people, so maybe we'll have something separate and you guys can come to that. Now, I'm not sure if that was said because of COVID, not wanting to have too many people around and her dad being older, being more vulnerable, or if it was because she wants to keep him separate from Mark. I don't know. I didn't pick. Y'all tell me in the comments which one y'all think it was. Either way, I still don't feel like either reason is valid. Like, if your dad, that's her grandfather. If he wants to come to her birthday party, unless it's a COVID situation, I just feel like he should be on the first list. Like, everybody else is secondary and third, but, Then she talked to him about the fact that, he's celebrating 39 years of marriage, and she's like, how did you do it? And he said, well, because we were friends first. He said, me and my wife, we are friends, and we had that foundation to build on. He said, listen, you've been married for 3 years, and y'all been separated more than half of that. Like, I'm not sure what kind of marriage y'all have. Like, what is it that y'all really have? What's really going on with y'all? And, she was like, I don't know. He keeps doing things, I think I forgot to put it in my review, that not only did he serve her after sending her love songs, but then he asked for alimony, child. And he was like, alimony? She said, well, yeah, he only did it out of spite, out of retaliation, because we were trying to serve him papers for the custody, and so he did that. She said he withdrew it 12 hours later. And her dad told her something real valid. He said, listen, he meant that. He said, people don't ask for money and then change their mind. No, he meant what he meant it the first time. Now, he might have withdrew the papers this time, but please understand that if he asked for money once, he will ask for money again. And I was like, you know what, Dad? You better give it to him good. You better give it to him straight with no chaser, honey. You better. So, so she basically was like, appreciate appreciate it, you give me some food for thought, some words of wisdom kind of thing. She told him she was going to therapy to try to figure out why does she keep choosing the wrong man, and why certain things have happened in her life. And so he said, well, hey, that can't hurt, and I think he asked were they gonna be in therapy together, and I'm not sure. I think right now it's just Kenya. Hell, he's not even in the States, so I don't know how they can do it. Yeah. So Kenya is going to dinner with Drew to try to clear the air, because Drew said, hey, I thought that we were sort of building something, and it seems like it sort of kind of fell apart. Now, here's the thing. Y'all know I don't really be giving Kenya no cut cards. Like, I don't hold, Kenya. But in this case, Drew, I think you're doing a lot. And the reason why I say I think you're doing a lot, not because Kenya wasn't doing stuff, because, but I just feel like y'all have already had the conversation. I don't know what else you want to talk about. Like, you brought up the whole private jet thing. Why would you tell me one thing and then tell me not to tell the girls? And Kenya was like, well, because I wanted to tell them myself. Now, let's be clear. That's probably bullshit. But at the end of the day, if that's her reason, that's her reason. Like, you can't tell her that ain't her reason. You can't make it not be her reason. If that's her reason, that's her reason. Then you brought up the thing about bringing kids. I feel the way I feel about it, but at the end of the day, y'all had that conversation as well. And then Kenya said, well, I felt like when we went to dinner, I felt like you was sort of coming for me. And Drew was like, I don't think I was coming for you. I mean, I think I was just telling the truth. Is that, you feel like that's coming for you? Then they got into this thing where neither one of them would let the other one talk, because Kenya's thing was, I just don't know what else you want me to say about it. Like, it happened, we talked about it, I thought we had moved on, but why do we keep having the same conversation? Like, I don't understand why we keep talking about the same thing. And honestly, I kind of was with Kenya on this one. Like, Drew, you brought it up, you said it. I don't know what you want from Kenya. Because clearly, whatever it is that you want, you're not getting. I don't know if you want Kenya to apologize. I don't know if you want Kenya to say she's sorry. I mean, she can't undo what she did. I just don't know what you want from her at this point. At a certain point, people keep talking, and then Drew started singing, and Kenya was like, why are you singing? She started singing her words, and Kenya started singing her words, and it just got to be a lot where they basically were just over talking each other. And finally, Kenya was like, check please, because this is going nowhere, and I can't keep doing this. I'm not going to sit here and keep going back and forth with this woman. Like, we're going in circles and there's nothing happening, So when the check comes, Kenya pulls out her credit card, and Drew was like, oh, no, we splitting this. And Kenya was like, I don't split checks. And Drew was like, well, I do. Kenya was like, listen, only broke bitches split checks. I ain't got time to be sitting here figuring out how much is my tax. Well, first of all, Kenya, you ain't got to figure out nothing. You tell the people you want to split the check. They split the check. They tell you what you owe. It ain't that hard. It ain't that difficult. I don't think it's a broke situation. I think it's I'm not going to pay for your dinner, and I don't want you to pay for my dinner because I don't want you to feel like you did nothing for me. I feel like that's where they are in that moment, not about who has money and who doesn't. But again, I don't have that many zeros in my bank account. So maybe it is a rich person thing that I just wouldn't understand. I don't know. But that's just me. So the next day, they go to Marlo's hayride situation. Pumpkin patch situation. And as they are on their way, well, we see Cynthia and her sister first. Now, Cynthia and her sister are on their way to go find her mom a wedding dress, a dress for the wedding. But, baby, the news hits page 6. Now, all of us remember when the news hit page 6, and we all heard about what happened down to the bachelorette party. And so now they're we're seeing them see it happen in real time. Candy shows up first to the pumpkin patch, and she tells Marlo about it, and Marlo was like, what? Who is talking? Who is running their mouth? Now, Marlo says, hey, I do have a good relationship with page 6, but at the same time, that won't me. Now, as the ladies get to showing up, and I thought it was a dig. I feel like Portia was throwing a dig. I mean, not Portia, I'm sorry. I feel like Kenya was throwing a dig at Candy when she was like, I don't even know why y'all hang with these bloggers. I don't talk to bloggers. I don't even know why y'all are hanging with them. And I felt like that was a direct hit to Candy in that moment, because we all know that Candy and Funky Dineva have had a great relationship, and I know she's not the only one. That's just the first one that hit my mind, that hit me in the head right in that moment. Maybe it wasn't directed at Candy, but that's just where I took it. Maybe that's just where my mind went, child. But of course Kenya says it wasn't her, and everybody is sort of side-eyeing Kenya, only because of how much of a big deal she made about the situation. Now, personally, I think it was production. If you really want to know the truth of the matter, I don't really think it was any of the ladies. I think it was production, and I don't know how many of them got a heads up on it or not. But I really don't think it was them. And of course, Candy was like, I just want to know why everybody keep tagging me. Candy, you really don't know why they tagging you? Now, Tanya done went MIA, honey. Tanya done went to Canada. She done said, I'm done, I'm out, I'm gone. And my people keep telling me that Tanya ran to Canada. I don't think she so much ran to Canada as she went home. Like, she's from Canada. Like, I think she just went home. She decided she no longer wanted to be a part of the show. And I guess she just decided, got the hell out of Atlanta. I don't know. But, of course, they, if they're having the whole conversation. And once again, we're trying to figure out who did what and who was where and who was what. And, of course, Candy is like, why are we back on this? Why are we back on this? Drew shows up in a blonde wig. I mean, so that happened. And they was calling her stuff. Listen, Marlo was calling her Storm and all kinds of stuff, child. Anyway. But personally, if you ask me who I think it was, damn it, I think it was just production. Now, they called Cynthia. Come to find out, Cynthia ain't done the prenup yet. She said that it's so much going on, her and Mike just going to do a post-nup. And as Kenya said, listen, if that's what Cynthia want to do after what she went through with Peter, listen, go for it, child. Do you. That's your business. Ain't nothing I can do about it, She said, hell, I give good advice. I just didn't take my own advice, and I ain't get the damn prenup my damn self. And that's why I'm in the situation I'm in. So I don't even have the time or the energy to be worried about what she getting into. Now, poor Portia. I don't know how everybody found this place except for Portia. But Portia she probably put the wrong address in her GPS. And the GPS was taking her. She was an hour past where they were supposed to be, which was already 45 minutes past her house. So she had to turn around and come back, which was going to bring them all the way, so the ladies were like, well, we just have to keep on moving, in the midst of it. Kenya and Drew end up rehashing their dinner and where they were and why they not on the same page and all of that. And Lord, I don't care. Drew talking about some... Kenya talking about something. I mean, first of all, I got there. She was doing active exercises. Drew was like, "I'm not doing active exercises. I was doing voice exercises because I'm singing at the wedding and I'm a little hoarse." She was like, "Candy, don't you do voice exercises?" Candy was like, "Yeah, but not at the dinner table." So they get back from their hayride, child, and all of the ladies leave except for Shamia, Drew, and Marlo, because Shamia was like, I feel bad because because mind you, Portia ain't there yet, because it's taking her that long to get there. And they were like, well, at this point I don't want to leave Portia because I don't want her to get here and then nobody's here. See, that's what a friend would do. So they're waiting for Portia because now it's dark and everything, child. So they wait for Portia. Portia finally gets there. And they end up having a conversation about, Marlo was like, listen, I feel like you've been acting a little funny towards me since me and Kenya sort of made up. And I just don't, she said, I'm a loyal person and I'm a loyal friend. And I feel some kind of way and I don't want to feel like me and you are not good, or like I got to choose or whatever. And Portia was like, we good. She said, well, I mean, I haven't heard from you since we've been back to the trip. Portia was like, I ain't even talked to Shamia. Marlo said, well, that ain't me. She said, yeah, but Shamia's my best friend. And I haven't even talked to her since we've been back. Like, it's been a lot going on. It's just been a lot. And, it ain't personal. I don't have no issues with you. We're good. And, Portia said in her confessional, listen, I don't have no problem with Marlo being friends with Kenya. I just question Kenya's timing on deciding that she gonna be cool with Marlo. That's my only thing. And so Marlo was like, well, look, me and you can talk, outside of this, because I think she was kind of feeling like Shamia was butting in and putting her little 2 cents in. So she was like, well, me and you can have a one-on-one conversation, because I just, I want to just talk to you one-on-one, because I just don't want you to feel like, that I'm no longer your friend, or I'm no longer loyal to you, because that's not who I am. And Portia was like, no, we good, girl, we good. It is good. It's all good. So Kenya ends up going to her therapy session, and you know, she's talking about why she chooses the type of men she chooses. And once again, she speaks on the trauma of her mother basically, you know, disowning her. And I know that that's a trauma that Kenya is still dealing with, because it's a trauma that, because she continues to talk about it. And I'm not even saying that in a bad way, because it is hard, and it is what it is, and it is something that's very hard for her, you know. I don't know the whole story. I only know what they've shared with us, but I know, you know, it seems like Kenya's mother was a young mother and wasn't ready to be a parent and let her grandmother raise her. But even once Kenya was old enough to know, okay, that's my mother, she never wanted to be an active part of Kenya's life. And, you know, I feel like for a while Kenya had a connection because she had a friendship with her aunt. And this I feel like after that situation when they went up there for the family reunion, her and her aunt don't have the same relationship. Because that's the last time we ever saw her aunt film. Her aunt was very upset by Kenya doing that. And Kenya had a point to a certain extent. Kenya was like, listen, that's my mother. I have every right to knock on my mother's door if I want to. But then on the flip side, as much as it might hurt Kenya, if your mother has made it clear that she doesn't want to have a relationship with you, you kind of don't. You know what I mean? Like, I see both sides of that. And she talked about the type of men she dates. She said, you know, the one thing with Mark was I allowed myself to not be who I really was. Like, I silenced myself, and that's not who I am. You know, I was disrespected. You know, she talked about when her mother rejected her, basically becoming a wild child and getting in trouble. And, you know, she was like, I dated a man who was 11 years older than me at 15. No, ma'am, you didn't date him, because a 15-year-old ain't dating no 26-year-old. I know that's what you think, and I know that's how you worded it, but no, ma'am. No, ma'am. That man took advantage of you, okay? And so you just got to see a more vulnerable side of Kenya. I mean, the question though is, what are you going to do with it now, Kenya? You know, you recognize that Mark has not valued you and honored you and honored y'all's relationship, and he hasn't given you what you've given him. The question now is, how much harder are you going to fight for something that this man has not, from my perspective, put any interest in being a part of? Like your dad said, y'all been married for 3 years and y'all been separated for more than half of that. Like, hell, where do you go from there? I don't understand. You know, you don't know his family and he clearly don't know yours. What kind of marriage did y'all really even have? So anyway, that was the conversation, and we'll see. We'll see. I don't know. I think that's it. I think that's it. Uh yeah, I think that's it. So anyway, y'all let me know what y'all think. Drop it in them comments. Peace.